Beans are eaten around the world, and there are many different types of protein-rich beans to enjoy as a side dish or the core of a meal. Beans are one of the least expensive source of protein. Half a cup of beans provides about 6 to 7 grams of protein, which is about the same amount as 1 ounce of meat, poultry, or fish. Beans are also a good source of fiber. High fiber diets are associated with lower risks of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer. High fiber foods, like beans, are low glycemic, meaning they raise blood sugar levels very slowly, and as a result, help regulate blood sugar and lower risk of diabetes. Shop for dry organic beans in the bulk section of the grocery store. Beans are so versatile and can be eaten simply with a grain and a green veggie, added to a salad, used in a soup, chili, or stew, or eaten as a dip like hummus. The variety of beans and legumes includes split peas, red, green, and brown lentils, nutty adzuki beans, slightly sweet black beans, creamy cannellini, nutty garbanzo beans, and kidney beans. Let's take a look at the anatomy of a whole grain. A whole grain consists of the bran, germ, and endosperm. The bran is the outer shell of grain, which protects the seed and contains fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. The germ is nourishment for the seed and contains B vitamins, minerals, vitamin E, and phytonutrients. The endosperm is energy for the seed and contains carbohydrates, some protein, and B vitamins. When grains are refined, the bran and the germ are removed, leaving only the endosperm. This causes a loss of fiber, about 25% of the grain's protein, and at least 17 micronutrients. Enriched grains are refined grains with some of the micronutrients such as thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and iron added back to nutritionally enrich the product. Because the added nutrients represent a fraction of the nutrients removed, refined grains are considered nutritionally inferior to whole grains. Whole grains have higher levels of nutrients than refined grains and are protein rich. Whole grains balance sugar highs and lows. Due to the fiber in whole grains, they digest slowly and produce more stable blood sugar levels than refined processed grains. According to the nonprofit The Whole Grains Council, there are many benefits from eating whole grains. They can reduce stroke risk by 30% to 36%, reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes by 21 to 30%, reduce heart disease risk by 25 to 28%, and lead to better weight maintenance. The Whole Grains Council also reports that whole grains reduce the risk of asthma, support healthier blood pressure levels, reduce risk of atherosclerosis of the carotid artery, reduce risk of inflammatory disease, lower risk of colorectal cancer, and reduce risk of gum disease and tooth loss. The many different whole grains include steel-cut oats from Ireland, brown rice from Asia, quinoa from the Andes, kasha from Russia, bulgur from the Middle East, rye from Northern Europe and Russia, kamut from Egypt, teff indigenous to Ethiopia, and millet, a staple of India. There are several grain-like foods that are actually seeds. We call them pseudograins because we cook and consume them the same way we cook whole grains. They possess many of the same protein-rich, fiber-rich benefits as true grains. Some of the pseudograins include quinoa, a relative of Swiss chard and beets, wild rice, an aquatic grass that grows in cold climates such as northern US and Canada, amaranth, a staple of the Aztec culture, and buckwheat, a cousin of rhubarb, which we enjoy like a grain in porridges and soba noodles. Botanically speaking, grains, beans, nuts, and seeds are all actually the seed, also known as the embryo of a plant. Seeds may be dormant for a long time, waiting for the right condition to root and sprout. Plants protect their young, just like humans do. Some seeds are surrounded by yummy fruit in order to entice animals to eat the seeds, carry the seeds to another location, and leave them there with a little bonus fertilizer. The seeds, though, are still protected by what we might call Mother Nature's preservatives. For example, apple seeds contain cyanide. The seeds we eat contain three major protections for the plant that are considered anti-nutrients for humans. These are lectins, phytic acid, and enzyme inhibitors. Grains, beans, and lentils contain all three. What we call grains, wheat, oats, corn, barley, are actually grass seeds. They are dispersed by the wind rather than animals and therefore do not have a tasty fruit. In their raw state, grass seeds are toxic to humans. The outer coating of a seed contains a protein called lectin, which is part of the plant immune system. When a seed is damaged, lectins are released to attack insects, bacteria, or other predators. Lectins can cause infertility in insects. Lectins bind to the surface of cells and have been shown in studies to damage human intestinal cells, causing leaky gut syndrome. Once they enter the bloodstream, they can bind in many different places, causing disease processes. Phytic acid binds to the minerals in nuts and seeds, making them unavailable to humans. In legume seeds, phytate is located in protein bodies of endosperm. Phytic acid content is drastically reduced during soaking, followed by cooking. Enzyme inhibitors prevent seeds from germinating prematurely. Consumed enzyme inhibitors can bind to human digestive enzymes, making them ineffective and reducing our ability to digest our food. Nuts and the seeds we call seeds contain less phytic acid and more enzyme inhibitors than grains and beans do. The lectins, phytic acid, and enzyme inhibitors are the reason we soak beans and grains before cooking them. Add salt or baking soda to the soaking water to reduce enzyme inhibitors. Add lemon or lime juice or vinegar to the soaking water to remove the phytic acid. Soak overnight, drain, and then cook in fresh water.